Taylor Swift isn't just a pop star. She's an empire, a billionaire, a storyteller who turned heartbreak into headlines and songs into a global business.
Does anyone here know the lyrics to this bridge? Prove it!
But here's the shocking truth. None of it was handed to her. Every single piece of the Taylor Swift empire was built step by step, rejection by rejection, reinvention by reinvention. And if you think you know her story, you're about to realize there's much more beneath the surface.
I played them a few songs and they said that they wanted to sign me to a development deal.
Watch the full video so you don't miss any of the jaw-dropping twists that turned a girl from a Christmas tree farm into the world's most powerful musician.
This was the very first page, not where the storyline is.
Taylor's story doesn't begin with fame, fortune, or even Nashville. It begins in a quiet Pennsylvania town, surrounded by Christmas trees. Her childhood looked ordinary from the outside, but inside that farmhouse, something extraordinary was happening. From the moment she picked up a guitar, Taylor wasn't just another kid with a hobby. She was obsessed. Hours turned into days, fingers bled from practicing chords, and songs poured out of her like diary entries no one else could write. At just 11 years old, she convinced her mom to take her to Nashville. Picture it, a young girl with curly blonde hair clutching a demo tape, walking into record labels that barely gave her the time of day. Every single one turned her down, rejected across the board. Most kids would have quit, but Taylor, she didn't see rejection as the end. She saw it as fuel. She begged her parents to move closer to the heart of country music, and they did. That single decision to uproot everything and move to Hendersonville, Tennessee, changed the trajectory of her life forever. By 14, Taylor had a publishing deal. By 15, she had a record contract. And in 2006, her debut album introduced her to the world as country music's wide-eyed sweetheart. But behind the cowboy boots and curls was something much more dangerous: strategy. Because Taylor wasn't just writing songs, she was creating stories that millions would soon live inside. Taylor's debut wasn't built on flashy production or industry connections. It was built on storytelling. Her lyrics weren't generic. They were confessions, first crushes, heartbreak, awkward teenage moments. It felt less like music and more like flipping through her personal notebook. And fans connected. They didn't just listen. They saw themselves in her. That's tactic number 1 in Taylor's billionaire blueprint. Become a master storyteller. Every album became another chapter. Every lyric, another detail. Taylor blurred the lines between her world and her fans' world until they felt inseparable. Her debut sold 40,000 copies in the first week and stayed on the charts for months. But that was only the foundation. She was just getting started. Because the real game began when she set her sights on something bigger than country music. Watch the full video so you don't miss how Taylor made her boldest gamble yet. The early 2000s were Taylor's kingdom. Fearless debuted at number 1, won the Grammy for Album of the Year, and cemented her as the face of country music.
The street looks when it's just rain. There's a glow off the pavement. You walk me to the car.
Speak Now sold over 1 million copies in a single week, a record for female country artists.
Death March and I'm hiding in the curtains. It seems that I was uninvited by your lovely bride-to-be.
But here's the thing, Taylor wasn't satisfied. She wasn't chasing numbers. She was chasing legacy. With Red in 2012, you could feel the shift. She blended country roots with pop hooks, signaling that something was changing. But in 2014, she shocked the entire industry with a clean break. 1989 was pure pop. No fiddles, no twang, no safety net. Critics doubted her. Could her country fan base follow her? Would pop radio embrace her? It was a risk that could have ended her career. Instead, it became her biggest triumph. Shake It Off debuted at number 1, 1989, sold over 10 million copies, and she became the first woman ever to win Album of the Year twice. But the real brilliance wasn't just the sound, it was the system she created. Taylor gave fans more than music. She gave them eras. Each album wasn't just a release, it was a cultural reset. New sound, new style, new identity. Fans weren't just buying songs, they were entering a world. And just as the system took off, Taylor faced her greatest test yet, because the higher you rise, the bigger the target on your back. In 2009, Taylor Swift is 19, standing on stage at the VMAs, holding her first MTV award, and then, infamy. Kanye West storms the stage, grabs the mic, and declares that Beyoncé should have won. The world rallied around Taylor, the wide-eyed teenager blindsided on live TV. But that moment planted a seed. Fast forward to 2016. Kanye releases Famous, claiming he made Taylor famous. She condemns it. He insists she approved it. Enter Kim Kardashian, who drops a bombshell, leaked phone call clips suggesting Taylor knew about the lyric. Almost instantly, #Taylor Swift is over party trended worldwide. Millions branded her a manipulator. Overnight, she went from America's sweetheart to public enemy #1, and then she disappeared for over a year. When she came back, it was with snakes as her symbol and an album dripping with venom. Reputation. Instead of fighting the narrative, she owned it, proof of her resilience. But behind the scenes, a much bigger battle was brewing, one that would define not just her career, but her legacy. Here's the shocking truth the industry doesn't want you to know. When Taylor signed her first record deal at 16, she gave up ownership of her master recordings. That's standard in the music business. Labels own the work, not the artist. Years later, those masters, the songs that built her career, were sold to music executive Scooter Braun, without her knowledge, without her consent. For Taylor, this wasn't just business. This was personal. Those weren't just songs. They were her diary, her voice, her identity. Most artists would have accepted defeat, but Taylor did something no one had ever tried at scale. She announced she would re-record her first 6 albums, every lyric, every chord, every memory, and release them as Taylor's versions. The gamble? Fans could have ignored it. Instead, they rallied. They boycotted the old masters and embraced her versions. Fearless, Taylor's version, debuted at #1. Red, Taylor's version, included a 10-minute version of All Too Well that became a cultural event.
I am not the kind of girl who should be rudely barging in on a white veil occasion, but you.
This was more than revenge. This was a billion-dollar strategy. She proved an artist could rewrite history and win. If Taylor's re-recordings proved her power, the Eras Tour proved her empire. A 3-hour show, 10 albums, 17 years of music. But it wasn't just a concert, it was the biggest cultural event of the decade. Stadiums became shrines. Fans swapped friendship bracelets, turned lyrics into TikTok trends, and created a global movement. This wasn't just music, it was ritual. The numbers, unbelievable. The Eras Tour grossed over $1 billion, making it the most profitable tour in history. And Taylor didn't stop there. Instead of letting Hollywood studios control her concert film, she struck a direct deal with AMC Theaters. No middlemen, no gatekeepers. The result? $260 million at the box office, most of it straight to her. This is tactic number 4. Own the distribution. When you control how your art reaches the world, you control the value. By 2025, Taylor's empire is valued at $1.6 billion. But here's the jaw-dropper. Unlike Rihanna, who built Fenty Beauty, or Dr. Dre, who built Beats headphones, Taylor became a billionaire purely from music. Her catalog, supercharged by Taylor's versions, is worth around $600 million. Touring accounts for over $700 million. Add $100+ million in real estate and hundreds of millions from merch, and you see the blueprint of a self-made empire. But the real secret? Fans. Swifties aren't just customers. They're participants. They promote, they organize, they defend. Taylor doesn't just have an audience, she has a movement. And that's why Tactic 5 is the most powerful of all. Be the architect of community. Taylor Swift's story is a paradox. On one side, the vulnerable songwriter scribbling heartbreak into her diary. On the other, the mogul strategist who outmaneuvered the industry, reinvented herself at every turn, and built systems no one thought possible. She didn't rely on luck. She didn't inherit power. She engineered it. With storytelling, reinvention, ownership, and community, she turned rejection into resilience and loss into billion-dollar leverage. Taylor wasn't born successful, she built it, and so can you. So let me ask you, what do you think was Taylor's boldest move? Was it reinventing herself after cancel culture, reclaiming her masters, or turning concerts into billion-dollar movements? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'll be reading them. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on the biggest stories, shocking twists, and insider secrets we cover next. Because trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming.